People always say that my voice could be a little jarring. I get it. I've been made fun of that a lot. The audio and the visual don't exactly go together. I know. I sound the way Mike Tyson looks. You know what I mean? Like, there was a mix-up somewhere. It's just not really intimidating when you sound like a heavyweight boxing champion, but you look like a hot dog eating champion. You know what I mean? Who am I gonna scare? Growing up, a buddy of mine. Any old school kung fu movie fans? Yeah, yeah, we do. Growing up, a buddy of mine once said this to me. He goes, "You know what, Brian? You look like you could start a kung fu movie, and then dub your own voiceovers." I was like, "Wow, that is both racist and great career advice at the same time." Some of the best career advice is a little racist. You know what I mean? Just don't poo-poo it. Consider it. I get it. My voice has the charm of a racist truck driver. Like, if you close your eyes, I sound like somebody who would say, "Go back to your fucking country." But then when you open your eyes, I look like the guy that he's talking to. You're like, wait a minute. Where'd the other guy go? Go back to, I've had that happen to me before. People have said that to me. Go back to your country. Go back to your fucking country. Born and raised here in New York. Everybody says New York is so open-minded, it's so liberal, it's so progressive. There's a lot of racism here too. You know, I've definitely faced that. I remember as a kid, people have said, stuck a finger in my face, "Go back to your fucking country." And the funny thing is, most people can't tell the difference between Asian people anyway. So when someone says to me, "Go back to your country," I'm always like, "I will, if you can tell me what country." Huh? Oh, and go fuck yourself. I should go back to my country. You should go fuck your mother. We both have somewhere you have to be tonight. Look at that. Everybody has a full itinerary. I am Chinese, or as most of you people call us, Korean. No, let me tell you. I don't get offended by that, you know. Bro, do you get offended by that? When people say, "I can't tell you Asian people apart"? No, good, don't. You know why? You know what's worse than someone saying, "I can't tell you Asian people apart"? When they say, "I can tell you Asian people apart." Because what they're about to say is way more racist. You don't want to know how they think they tell us apart. I mean, we could do it, right? But we know the secret. We know the cheat code. That's always how it is. You know, you can tell from within your group, but outsiders, they never know. So when people say, "I can tell you Asian people apart," I'm always like, "Really? How? How do you do it?" They're always like, "You know." Here comes the racism. You know. Japan, that's the Godzillas, right? And K-pop, those are the dudes that wear the makeup. And China, those are the coronavirus bat eaters. How am I doing? I'm like, oh my God. It's okay, we all look alike, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, good Lord. Actually, I shouldn't even say I'm Chinese. Both my parents are born and raised in Taiwan. You know, they never even set foot in China. So technically, I'm Taiwanese, really. If you don't know what Taiwan is, it's China's Puerto Rico. That's basically this. You know, small tropical island, right, off the coast of the mainland. Everybody likes baseball for some reason. We're the same people. The Puerto Ricans and the Taiwanese, we're the same people. Just brown eyes sweating on the palm trees, right? That's us. And yeah, you know, my parents, not too thrilled when I told them I wanted to pursue stand-up, as you can imagine. And I can't blame them, right? You know, they came all the way to this, they worked so hard, they risked everything, they floated over here on a tire, they flew, but I'm just saying. It's funnier. They floated over here on a tire just so their only child can grow up and tell dick jokes to strangers. That wasn't their dream, you know? We used to fight about it, but now as I get older, I get it. I understand. I understand, like, how it's just, first of all, stand-up comedy, no health insurance. You know what I mean? Like, that's terrifying for them, right? Imagine having no health insurance in New York City. That's why so many comedians, we have day jobs or part-time jobs. 30 million Americans don't have health insurance. 29 of them are comedians. Did you know that? Yeah. For long stretches of my life, I had no health care. I have no health coverage. You know, that's scary. So this is what I used to do. If you don't have health care, do what I used to do. Go into an Indian restaurant or a Chinese restaurant, act like you're choking, and just yell out, "Is there a doctor in the house?" There usually is, you know what I'm saying? Somebody comes running over, sorry, false alarm. But now that I have you here, can you tell me what is that? Can you prescribe me an ointment? Do I need an ointment for that? Think about it. Indian restaurants, what do they have? Indian people! Chinese restaurants, what do they have? Jewish people! Yeah. One of them has to be a doctor, right? Even the busboy was like a brain surgeon in his village before he came over here. But no, immigrants, we're the problem. We're the ones stealing all the jobs. Oh, fuck us. Yeah, like I say, immigrants, we make shit happen. Immigrants are like Superman. Because Superman was an immigrant, right? He was an illegal alien who snuck into this country as an infant. Doesn't get any appreciation for all his hard work. Clearly a DACA baby, right? Batman, now that's a Republican. Rich, billionaire, tough on crime, best friend's a cop, come on. You've seen this story before. Yeah, you know, my parents are like, you're right. I'm talking to the immigrants, right? You know, they wanted me to be what? A doctor. Doctor. You know, we used to argue all the time. I'm like, Ma, you don't understand. As a comedian, women love that, right? Women love men who know how to tell a joke. She's like, no. Women like doctors who know how to tell a joke. Not comedians who think they know CPR. See, it doesn't work the other way. It's only attractive, it's only one direction. And they used to get on my case about it too all the time. Like, Brian, you know, find a real career, right? Settle down, have kids, you know, get married, fall in love. I'm like, Ma, I'm in love with myself right now. She goes, you could do better. My mother's doing a roast battle, apparently. I didn't know this. My father's another one. Don't get me started on him. Old school immigrant guy, doesn't show any emotion. Can't even read him. He's like a statue. You know these fucking immigrant fathers. To this day, we can sit across the table from each other for 2 hours, not even make eye contact. We can't even look at each other. I call my father a solar eclipse because he's never looked or stared directly at his son. You know what I'm saying? They came here to New York in the 70s, moved to Queens, one of the most diverse places, you know, in the entire world, and had me. Halfway through my childhood, we up and moved, just 20 minutes outside of Queens into Long Island, to a very small, conservative, white town where the politics were completely different. To this day, you know, just put it this way, Long Island prefers their presidents with reality TV experience. Let's put it that way. Right. That's their big test. That's their big qualification to get into the White House. Yeah. It was jarring, you know. It was jarring just to be thrust into that new situation where I was like one of the few white kids in my school, and they never let you forget too. You know? Hey, you're an Asian dude. I remember Halloweens were the worst. I could never just be whatever it is I dressed up as. You know, I was always the Asian fill in the blank. Doesn't matter what I wore, it was Asian. Like I could show up to school. What do you wear? A fireman jacket? What are you, an Asian fireman? What you got, a vampire teeth? What are you, an Asian Dracula? What are you wearing? Knicks jersey? What are you, an Asian Jeremy Lin? It's just no matter what. I was Asian first, before anything else. That's my title. Like Mr. Johnson, Mrs. Smith, Asian Brian. Asian wasn't just my race, it was my prefix. Got the hell out of Long Island. Yeah. As ostracized as I felt, it did teach me how to operate in certain spaces when I got older, and that became very valuable. So it was a lesson learned, you know. So I went to college, and I, entered the workforce, and I can maneuver. I felt more comfortable, and I think that was something valuable to me. Because I know white people, right? I know white people. I grew up in Long Island. I'm a 5-star general, 3rd-degree black belt in white people. I grew up in Long Island. I've dated Asian women. I have Chinese tattoos. I have Chinese tattoos that I can't even read. I'm practically a white guy, okay? Just give me some Birkenstocks and a PBA card, and I'll walk around going, Eminem's the greatest rapper of all time. I'm close. I'm awfully close. Do we have anybody here visiting from out of town? Yeah. Where from? Philippines. The Philippines. Oh, that's very out of town. Nice. Yeah, okay. How do you, yes, we know. You don't have to, it's not just out of town, out of country. We're Americans, but we're not that stupid, okay? Call me some slang, all right? Always the fucking Asians trying to correct everybody. You're smart, we get it. How do you like New York?
It's great.
It's great? Yeah. Would you ever move here? Would you ever live here permanently?
Probably not.
Probably not, right? I don't blame you. I don't blame you. New York City, I always heard New York City, the greatest city in the world. It's the greatest city in the world. I mean, is it? It always had some pros and cons, right? We know this. But now, then since the pandemic, now the crime's up, shootings are up, Asian hate. It's like, why the fuck am I here? It's time, like my girl and I, we talk about this all the time. It's time to get the fuck out. My whole act now is just like this realization of just how fucking stupid the city is and the things we put up with here. Everything here is expensive, right? I don't need to tell you guys that. Everything's expensive. The food, the rent, the toilet paper. Best deal on toilet paper, no matter where you live. CVS. Because the receipt that you get is longer than the roll you just bought. Right? It's a 2-for-1 double whammy. Rents are out of control. Again, they lowered it for a couple months, but now it's right back up to where it was. Rents are out of control. I live in the West Village. I live in a studio apartment. Not bragging. Do you know what a studio apartment is? I am 1 room away from being homeless. Really. I'm fucking close. The worst thing about living in a studio apartment is when you get into a relationship fight. You have nowhere to go. You're like, that's it, I've had it. I'm going over there. Just try to ignore each other for the next 2 hours, try to not make eye contact. Like 2 strangers on an elevator, just like, okay, you go over there, I'll go over here. It's not natural the way we live in New York City. We're just stacked on top of each other like shoe boxes. You have all these neighbors around you. You don't know any of them. They're all strangers, right? Isn't that weird? You don't know anybody. I got a neighbor who lives right above me. Never met him before. Oh, he talks really loud. I have no idea what he looks like. I know what STDs he has. That's a very weird set of facts to have about somebody. To describe like a neighbor, like the man upstairs, never met him, don't know even if he exists, but he listens in on all my conversations. That's not a neighbor, that's God. Right? We're stacked on top of each other like shoeboxes, There's too many people in the city. We all come to New York City for what? For the energy. For the people. The people create the energy, right? We're all here for the people. But then what happens when we get here? You want to get to the gym? You got to get there before 5 a.m. to avoid the crowd. Want to get on the subway? Got to get on before 8 a.m. to avoid rush hour. You want to get to the supermarket? Got to get there before noon to avoid the herd. You want to get brunch? Well, we got to get there before 1 p.m. Otherwise, we're never going to get a table. We come to New York for the people. Then when we get here, we plan every day trying to avoid people. That's insanity. That's not normal. A gym membership in New York costs 3 times more than anywhere else, right? We pay a premium to be inconvenienced. Nuts. That's nuts. What do you think, Philippines? Have I talked you out of New York yet?
Pretty convincing.
Pretty convincing, huh? You seem like a nice guy. This city, I've seen it my entire life. This city turns nice people into monsters. into monsters. You're gonna become a monster if you ever move here. New York City is the only city in the world that I can think of where we actively ignore somebody masturbating in public. But we have a problem when we catch somebody staring at us. Shouldn't it be the other way around? That's insane, right? When you live here long enough, what's normal becomes obscene. And what's obscene becomes normalized. You could be on the subway tonight. You're just like, oh my God, is that guy touching himself underneath his pants? Oh my God, don't look, ignore him, he'll go away. And then 5 minutes later, I catch somebody glance at me a little bit too long. I'm like, what the fuck you looking at? You got a staring problem? Mind your business. Oh, I'm so sorry, were you still masturbating over here? Oh, I apologize. No, I'll step over you, it's fine. Don't stop. No. Please, continue. No, I was talking to that rude person over there. He's staring at me. We can't have that. People staring at each other, that's destructive to the social fabric of our city, but you keep ejaculating all over my feet, it's okay. This is New York. We're open-minded. In other cities, you might get a lot of dick pics. But in New York, you see people masturbating in public. Because here, we truly value the live performance. You know what I mean? That's what separates us. What do you ladies do with all your dick pics? I turn them into NFTs. Hello? It attacks you constantly. You live here. We're constantly under attack. The second you walk out of your home, you don't know what's going to happen. I go to other cities sometimes, and I just kind of watch the way. Next time you do this, you go to another city, anywhere, just watch the way people walk around. Look at their faces. They're completely oblivious to what's happening around them. They're just like, yeah, they're daydreaming, thinking about pleasant thoughts, the way you're supposed to, right? You can't do that in New York. Especially women, like your physical safety is constantly at risk. And as men now, it's similar. The second you walk out of your home, right? The second you walk, you gotta look ahead of you all times because you don't want to get mugged. You gotta look behind you at all times because you don't want to get pushed onto the subway tracks. You want to look left and right because you don't want to get hit by a car or a bicycle on the sidewalk. You gotta keep looking down. You gotta keep looking down because you don't want to step in dog shit. And there's dog shit everywhere. And spit. Why are people spitting? Still, to this day, in this day and age of the post-pandemic, we just gonna let their spit particles just fly in the air? Everywhere you look on the ground in New York City, just shit and spit. Like an anal sex scene gone wrong. You gotta look up. Not just because of bird poop, but because of air conditioning piss. Our air conditioners piss on you here. Best case scenario is air conditioning piss, let's be honest. You don't want to know what that is. You just hope, I think it's air conditioning piss. Yeah, it's air conditioning. All right, just keep walking. You ever walk around the city, you feel that drop of water hit your head? And you play that game, what the fuck was that? You ever play the game? What the fuck was that? Is it rain? Is it pee? Is it God looking down on my career and crying? What was that? Guys, I'm in the back of a bowling alley doing stand-up comedy, okay? Come on. God ain't rooting for my career at this point. Can we be honest? Yeah, we gotta keep our heads constantly on a swivel. Constantly. We're just like this. You gotta look up, down, left, right. Oh, we're like bobbleheads. We walk around the city, we become bobbleheads. We're like human deer. It's not normal. Philippines, what did you hear about New Yorkers before you got here?
It's the greatest city in the world.
What is our reputation as New Yorkers? Did you hear anything bad about us? You could be honest. I know what people say about us. We don't have a great reputation.
They speak their mind.
Yeah, we're loud, we're rude, we're opinionated. We think we're better than everybody. We think the universe revolves around us. It's all true. Right? I'll be the first to admit, New Yorkers, we could be obnoxious, right? We don't know anything about any other state, any other city, and we're proud of that. And when we go visit other places, we act like we're doing you a favor. You ever see a New Yorker step off a plane? Oh my, it is the height of arrogance. Even for me. I mean, you know, I don't say this out loud, but in the back of my head, you see the way I walk, I'm like, yeah, New York is here. New York is in the house. About to bring some big city sophistication to the little shit town. What's this place called again? Chicago, whatever. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. From New York. Oh. Right, we all do that a little bit. We're judging the city based on their airports. Like, oh, this is a city, you call this a city? We don't know anything about anybody, but we think we're better than everybody, right? No bullshit. I was on vacation one time, and I'm walking around, and I'm just getting frustrated. I'm like, what the fuck? I gotta walk everywhere? Why do I have to walk everywhere around here? God, this place needs a subway. Why do we have a subway? This place needs a subway. My friend's like, this is Honolulu, you maniac. What are they gonna do with a subway? They're on an island. I double down. I'm like, so? Manhattan's an island. They have a subway. Why can't we have a subway? Difference. Obnoxious. It's obnoxious. We don't respect the fact that other places might have their own culture, you know? Hawaii, they're sitting on a beach, they're playing the ukulele, they're roasting a pig, watching the sunset. They have it right. They don't want to be stuck on a metal tube underground for an hour a day, right? They have their own culture. We don't acknowledge it. We think that everybody should be like us. That's the problem. We don't know anything about anybody, but we think we're better than everybody. We treat the rest of the country the way America treats the rest of the world. We're America's America. All right? We're loud, rude, obnoxious. Who does that sound like? That's Americans! So, you know, next time some of you people from other parts of the, country, you're like, oh, these New Yorkers, they're such assholes. That's how the rest of the world thinks about you. Just remember that. You see how it feels? New York, I'm telling you, New York, man. The New York attitude, it's a microcosm of the American attitude. You know? We think we're the best and we bully all our neighbors. Who does that sound like? That's New York. Look at the way we treat Jersey. Our next door neighbor. What has Jersey ever done so bad that deserves such vile from us? Our next door neighbors. Ask a typical New Yorker, say something nice about Jersey. Come on. Say something. They're your next door neighbors. Say something nice about Jersey. What do we say? The best thing about Jersey, they have a great view of New York. What kind of a backhanded compliment is that? The best thing about you, you get to look at me. That's your greatest quality. I can't even do that. I can't look at all this man candy. I have to live vicariously through you. Do you know how lucky you are, New Jersey? I mean, I'm guilty of it too, you know? Like, if I got into a car accident, I'd be mad. But if I looked up and I saw Jersey plates, oh my God. Okay. Yeah, you know, all we do is we bully our neighbors. Living in New York, I've heard it. I've heard it all the time. I live in Manhattan, right on the border between New York and Jersey. The way we talk about Jersey, man. The way we talk about these fucking dirty, filthy animals. They cross that river to come to our city, to come to our beautiful city, jacking up the rent, crowding up our subways. When do they get back to their fucking side of the river? I'm like, get back on their side of the river? Oh my God, we talk about Jersey like it's our Mexico. But for some reason, we have no problem with Connecticut. Right to the north of us. Every day, thousands of people from Connecticut come down to Manhattan to shop, work, do whatever. We never bother them, which kind of makes Connecticut our Canada. Nice white people to the north. A little bit boring if you ask me, but I'm telling you, New York, it's a microcosm of the rest of the country, right? We treat Jersey like it's our Mexico. We treat Connecticut like it's our Canada, which kind of makes LA our #1 rival. That's like our China. Lots of people, lots of pollution, lots of traffic, more than a little socialist, and too many Asians. Good Lord. How many people are here tonight with their dates? Anybody? Dates? You guys in the second row? How'd you guys meet, can I ask?
On one of the apps.
On the apps? Okay, a success story. Okay. How long ago was this?
Almost 2 years.
2 years ago. All right, going strong. Did you try all the apps? Or you just stuck with one? So many out there. It's just a few, right? What you got, like Grindr, Tinder, Uber? Have you tried them all? It's all the same thing, isn't it? You pick up strangers using an app, and hopefully you take them home at the end. And why not Uber? You know he's got a car. And a job. I mean, isn't that 90% of it right there, ladies? He's got a car, a job, and a profile pic? Oh my God, who is this Prince Charming? Ugh. I thought men like that only existed on LinkedIn. Ooh. And you always know where he's at all times. Just look at the app. Oh, there you are, there you are, there you are. I can literally see where this relationship is going. And you have to rate him at the end, huh? How many shitty dates have you ladies been on where you wish you could rate the motherfucker? Broke-ass motherfucker, 0 stars. Music producer my ass, you just bought a MacBook. What the fuck are you trying to pull? Everybody's looking for Prince Charming, right? That's what they say. Prince Charming, Prince Charming, Prince Charming. Is he out there? Huh? Does such a man exist? Prince Charming. All you ladies, since you were little girls, you were told, grow up and find your Prince Charming. Find your Prince Charming. Find your Prince Charming. He's out there. Find your Prince Charming. Even as boys, they told us, right? Growing up, be a Prince Charming. Be the most romantic man in all the land. Sweep a lady off her feet. All of us, since we were little kids, had the archetype of Prince Charming drilled into our heads. Why? Prince Charming, fuck that guy. He was a piece of shit to begin with. You want to know what the worst thing about Prince Charming is? I Googled this. In the original stories, before Disney, hundreds of years ago, who was the prince in Cinderella? Sleeping Beauty. Snow White. It's Prince Charming. That fucking guy was banging all 3 women this whole time. And nobody caught on. Prince Charming, the original fuckboy. Am I right? That guy was a fairy tale philanderer. More like Pimp Charming, if you ask me. Just like a man covering up his tracks. You know he must have had this conversation. He's like, what, Cinderella? What are you talking about? I met Snow White years ago. There was no overlap. It was in college. Calm down. She's like, really? Because it says over here, you two met once upon a time. That's when you met me, you piece of shit. When did all these stories take place? Once upon a time. I'm just saying. The chronology works out. It's pretty damning evidence, if you ask me. Cinderella, Snow White. You know Sleeping Beauty. She's in the background going, #me too, hello? Literally me too. She was passed out, remember? And Prince Charming jumped on top of her and assaulted her without her consent. Like he was on the Stanford swim team. Yeah, fuck that guy. Prince Charming. This is the guy we read to our children? Is that a little problematic? No? Like I was asking you, does this guy even exist? Prince Charming, tall, good-looking, chiseled jawline, washboard abs, rich, comes from a good family, and he respects women? Men like that, well, men like that do exist, but they're at a parade looking for their own Prince Charming. You know what I'm saying? He's out there, he's not looking for you ladies. I've been my girl now for, my girlfriend and I, we've been together for 11 years. Oh, thank you. You heard right, girlfriend, not married, no kids. Red flag, huh, ladies? Henry's applauding me. Yeah, man. 11 years. She's a great woman. I mean, I lucked out, for real. to this day, I still look at her, I'm like, oh God, you're a gorgeous looking woman. I can't even front on that. She's beautiful. She's smart. She's successful. She's an attorney. She went to Fordham Law School, Midtown law firm, 3 blocks from Central Park. She's the Prince Charming in our relationship. She could have done better. She should have done better. But she didn't. She lowered her standards and she settled. And 11 years later, we're still together. You see, ladies? You see what happens when you lower your standards? Good things happen. That's my only advice to women. Just lower your standards a little bit. And if I could give some advice to some of the younger dudes in the audience, when you got a good woman, appreciate her. Really, consider yourself lucky. I think as men, sometimes we have a harder time acknowledging a great relationship, a great woman, when we have one right in front of our faces. A lot of times as guys, we always think, oh, what else is out there? Grass green on the other side. Oh, I want to see, I could do better. We're always trying to jump ship. That's our problem. When you got a woman who loves you, she treats you right. She fights for you. My girl's a pit bull. She wants me to succeed more than I do sometimes. She's like fucking lights a fire under my ass. That's a good fucking woman. Men are like iPhone owners. Every 2 years, we feel entitled to an upgrade. Not women. Even successful, powerful women. You guys are like Android phone owners. Cracked screen, chip paint, wrapped in duct tape. Someone's like, isn't it about time you bought a new phone? You're like, but I like this one. He's familiar. That's a difference, Look at all these rich dudes. Look at all these divorced billionaires now, right? Bill Gates, divorced. Elon Musk, divorced. Jeff Bezos, divorced. Michael Jordan, divorced. Show me a billionaire, I'll show you his divorce attorney. Oprah Winfrey, billionaire. Still with that motherfucker. She's been with Stedman 30 years. Won't leave him. Smart woman. She found her Android phone, I like this one. He's familiar. That's different. Look at all these divorced billionaires now going to outer space, right? Jeff Bezos divorced, going to outer space. Elon Musk divorced, going to outer space. Richard Branson, the Virgin Atlantic billionaire, going to outer space. All these divorced billionaires leaving Earth. It kind of feels like they've given up on their relationship with Earth, doesn't it? And they're trying to look for another planet to conquer. What do you think is out there? Mars? Mars is going to treat you better than Earth? Appreciate the relationship with the planet you're on. Earth is like a beautiful woman. She's a great woman, She housed us. She fed us. She nurtured us. She supported us. She was there for us when we were nothing. She believed in us. We were just a bunch of monkeys swinging from trees. We didn't have the internet. We didn't discover fire. But like a good woman, she saw our potential. She had options. Oh, she definitely had options, right? The woolly mammoths, the Neanderthals, the dinosaurs. She broke it off with all those other losers. Let them go extinct. And she stuck with us. And this is how we treat her. Beautiful Earth. Earth is beautiful. She's got sunsets. Sunsets. Mother Nature's cleavage. Because we always get caught staring. Right? And what do? Huh? We just a bunch of climate change deniers and flat earthers disrespecting her. How can you deny climate change? Earth is a MILF. The older she gets, the hotter she becomes. She's the Angela Bassett of planets. Maybe. And flat earthers. Don't talk about it. The Earth is flat. She's too flat. Oh, stop body shaming Earth, you pig. Earth is round. She's covered in oceans. She's got a north and a south pole. Earth is the perfect woman. She's curvy, she's wet, and she's a little bipolar. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm in an interracial relationship, for those of you who don't know. It's a Blasian relationship. We're a Blasian couple. I am Asian, she is blind. No, she's black. You gotta be very careful when you date outside your race. You gotta be careful what you say. My girlfriend one time, she asked me, what color were her eyes? I'm like, oh no. I don't see color. I don't even know if you have eyes. I just stare at your tits. I don't know. I don't even look up past your neck. Because I'm not, that's racist adjacent, if you. We've been together, 11 years. When we first started dating here in New York City, we got a lot of weird looks. And it wasn't out of hatred. It wasn't out of, racism or anything. It was just out of curiosity. I don't think, back then, you didn't see a lot of that Asian guy, black woman, And I always catch people on the street, like, glancing at us. And it was always funny, their reaction. They were always like, wow, look at that. An Asian guy dating a black woman. Good for them. Go for them. All right. I guess anything's possible. A unicorn, the Loch Ness Monster, and an Asian guy dating a black woman. Okay. We used to live in an apartment building together, and my neighbor who lives across the hall from us, he was black, and he had a funny reaction. He saw us walk in one night. Doesn't say anything. Then the next day, he runs into me in the hallway. Just me. Comes right up to me. He's all excited. He's like, hey, man. I saw you walk in last night with a fine-looking sister. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's my girlfriend, yeah. And I think he thought that I was nervous because he immediately cuts me off. He's like, hey, I ain't mad at you. He said, I ain't mad at you. And I know what he meant. He's trying to be good-natured about it. But I remember thinking, you're not mad at me. Why would you be mad at me? Mad? I wouldn't be mad. I say black dudes dating Asian women all the time. I don't get mad at them. I don't care. I don't walk up to random black dudes in the street with their Asian girlfriends and tap them both on the shoulder and be like, oh, excuse me. I just want to let you two know, I'm not mad at this. Please, carry on. Have some babies, The world needs better golfers, right? You guys. They make good golfers. The black men and the Asian women. I don't know. It's something the DNA or the ESPN or one of those abbreviations. People would ask, in the beginning, people were like, oh, you guys are so different. Would you really marry somebody so different? Would you really have kids with somebody so different? I'm like, of course, right? If you love somebody, you love somebody. And not for nothing, but, maybe that's the point of evolution. Maybe we're supposed to diversify our genes a little bit. And if I may, maybe that's the point. Maybe, right? As Asians, we could use a little bit of diversity. Can we agree on that? Right? A little bit of melanin ain't gonna kill us. Have you ever been to China before? Ever seen pictures of China? The land of 1 billion people, 3 haircuts. Okay. A little bit of diversity ain't gonna hurt people. Asian people, we're not going anywhere. There's more than enough of us. There's over 1 billion people in China alone. That's not even to mention all the other places with tons of Asians, or Japan, Korea, the rejection list at Harvard. I'm not even talking about those places. The rejection list at Harvard has so many Asian kids on it, it needs a one-child policy. Let's put it that way. I suffer from a very huge fear of heights. Anybody else? Well, suffer might be overstating it, but hey, it's 2022. If you're not a victim, you're just not trying. I suffer. That's right. That's my suffrage. I'm bad, too. I don't know if you guys are afraid of heights, but I'm not even talking about going to the top of the Empire State Building. I'm at the mall. I'm going up the escalator. I look over the edge. I could feel my heart pounding through my chest. My palms are sweaty like wet sponges. Little kids have pointed at me, laughed at me, called me a pussy. It's absolutely true. It's embarrassing. It's called acrophobia. Acrophobia, just in case you want to know. Acrophobia. Remember all the phobias we used to hear about all the time? Like acrophobia, right? What's another one? Claustrophobia, fear of tight spaces. Aerophobia, people afraid of flying, right? People wouldn't white knuckle the seat the entire flight. Arachnophobia, fear of spiders, right? They made a movie about that once. Remember, that's the way phobias used to be, right? When you had a phobia, you were terrified. You were frozen with fear. You couldn't move. Have you noticed the way we use the word phobia now has completely changed? Now it's all about hate, right? Xenophobia, Islamophobia, transphobia, homophobia. Right? The way we use the word phobia has completely shifted. It went from fear to hate. Like 30 years ago, you had a phobia. People felt sorry for you. Today, you have a phobia. People are like, what a dick. What's your problem? Like 30 years ago, you had a phobia. You had to go talk to a therapist. Today, you have a phobia. You got to talk to HR. You can't have a phobia at work. What are you, crazy? Speaking of homophobia, I live in the West Village. A couple of years ago, there was the West Village, right? Home of the Gay Pride Parade, the Stonewall Inn, the birthplace of gay rights. If you don't like gay people, what the fuck are you doing in the West Village? Get the fuck out. You're in the wrong part of town. A couple of years ago, there was this two gay dudes just walking down the street, right through the West Village, minding their own business. Some maniac runs up to them, starts yelling slurs at them, pulls out a gun, shoots the both of them, killing one of them. And the next day it was all over the news. I remember everybody in my building was freaking out and talking about it. I remember reading the headline. It was like, last night, a shocking, terrible display of homophobia. And I remember, hearing about that. I'm like, yeah, that's terrible homophobia. But as someone who suffers from his own phobia, I remember thinking, wouldn't it be great if someone who is homophobic was actually afraid of gay people? I know, it's not tolerance per se. I'm saying the world would just be a safer place, right? Like those two gay dudes, they would still be alive today. Like if you were homophobic, instead of pulling out a gun, you pulled out an inhaler. Right? Like just imagine someone who's homophobic walking through the West Village, and he's like, oh my God. Where am I? Hey, buddy, you okay? I was holding my husband's hand. I couldn't help but notice you were having a panic attack. Is everything all right with you? Oh, it's not you. It's me. I have this condition. It's called homophobia. It's just every time I see rainbow flags or women driving Subarus, I just get a little lightheaded, it's not you, it's me. My palms are sweaty like wet sponges. I can feel my heart jumping through my chest. Little kids are laughing at me, calling me a pussy. It's embarrassing. I know, it's not tolerance per se. I'm just saying the world would be a safer place, that's all, right? Like I have a phobia, a real phobia, But I'm afraid of heights. I don't hate heights. I don't hate people who enjoy the heights lifestyle. I don't walk onto small planes and point at the people sitting there, look at these skydivers. Disgusting! A skydiver should not be allowed to marry another skydiver. Civil unions are okay, but no marriage. I pretended to read the Bible my entire life. I've ever seen that in the Bible. Skydivers get married, that can't be holy. Homophobia. That's not a real phobia. You're just an asshole. That's what you are. Ugh, I don't like gay people. Oh, suck a dick. You can't use the word phobia if you don't have suffrage, right? There's suffer involved. I suffer. I have a real phobia. I can never go bungee jumping. I can never go rock climbing. I can never do one of those crazy white dude sports like jumping out of an airplane with a parachute and a skateboard, chugging a Mountain Dew. I can never do that. You know how fun that looks? Can you guys do an impression? Yeah? Where do you guys so the Oscars were not just, and we all know what happened, right? It was only a couple months ago. Where are we? Team Chris Rock or team Will Smith? I'm about to say, Yeah, we're in Brooklyn, so you better answer correctly. Yeah, I'm a stand-up comedian, obviously. I'm Team Chris Rock all the way. You know, it's one of my favorite comics of all time. Love him, love the dude. You guys all know his most famous bit, his most famous joke? Black people versus the N-word, N-words. You know that? Are you familiar with that? Okay. Basically, what it was is that from his joke was that you have black people, N-words. Every time black people do something positive, do something, you know, great, there's always some bad people to fuck it up for the rest of us, you know. And as an Asian person, I could definitely relate to that, you know. Every time Asian people do something good or positive, some motherfucker he's a bat, and then all of a sudden we're all wearing masks. So that joke definitely, you know, resonated with me. But as comedians, you know how hard it is to do what we do? It's not easy. You know? You don't know how many times I wish I was a musician. I can go on stage, and if I'm not doing well, right, as a musician, I can just break into a Bob Marley song or a Beatles song and instantly win you guys over. As comedians, we can't do that, right? If I'm up here, I'm doing, I can't just do a cover version of another comedian's joke. That'd be ridiculous. Imagine me, I'm up here, I'm struggling, and then all of a sudden, I break into like a Chris Rock bit. I'm like, I love Chinese people. I hate chinks. I love Chinese people. Boy, I hate chinks. Chinks always want credit for shit they supposed to do. Talking about, I take care of my kids. You're supposed to take care of your kids, you ain't no motherfucker. What, you want a fortune cookie? You see, I can't get away with that. Or did I just get away with it? That's my time, everybody. Thank you so much.